Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rahim Bhatia.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. My name is Rahim Bhatia. What an amazing keynote from our CEO, Mike Gregoire, this morning. He continued the theme around digital disruption through software. And throughout the presentation today, we'll be picking up on some of the key messages that he alluded to and incorporating it to our presentation and our session today around API management and app development. You know, before we kind of go into sort of the presentation here, let's just step back and reflect to last year. I stood on this very stage and we talked about how every industry is being disrupted through software. We talked about the digital upstarts like Airbnb and Uber, overused I know, but they exemplify kind of how the world is changing. We talked about how these digital upstarts are recreating and enhancing the customer experience where it matters most, at the last mile. And that last mile is defined by where the customer or the user wants to engage or transact with you, no matter when, where, or how they want to connect with you. But we also talked about there were a lot of storied organizations with long histories, over 100 years. And they were looking at digital as the next step in their evolution. Now, you don't last 100 years without learning how to adapt. And these guys were aggressively investing in digital. So a year has gone by. And as you can see up on the screen here, these are some of the storied brands, our customers, that are embracing digital transformation in what they do. Now, throughout the session today, I'll be calling upon a number of these to come up on stage and share their stories. Nothing speaks to the power of digital transformation than hearing from them in terms of how they're changing their companies, how they're embracing digital transformation. When you listen to them, listen for three key things. The first one, look at how they're empowering the user. Second, see how they're bringing agility to their organization. And number three, look at how they're balancing that agility with incredible resilience for what they need to get done. These are some phenomenal stories. You'll just hear bits of it today, but they'll have sessions throughout CA World, and you can go and listen to their sessions. They are incredible stories. So one of the key things that Mike Gregoire talked about this morning is this concept of companies moving from being built to last to built to change. And it's not that they're not built to last anymore, but they need to incorporate built to change in what they do. Software and digital disruption is forcing these companies to organize around being built to change, requiring new organizational thinking, new investments, and new strategies. Now, traditionally, organizations or enterprises were organized across primary, secondary, and tertiary industries, things such as raw materials, finished goods, or intangible services. However, digital disruption and trends which the software upstarts are really good at exploiting is forcing these organizations to change to continue to be that incredible relevance that they want to continue to be for their organizations. Now, in order for this organizations or enterprises to change from built to last to built to change, they have to, in their unique way, meld their traditional self with their digital self. That's their unique value proposition. They have, again, great products, great people, and what they want to be able to do is combine that with their digital self. And you'll hear some of the stories today on customers of how our customers are doing exactly that. Now, in this change, there are some competencies in addition to what they already have that they need to acquire. They need to modernize their architectures. They need to embrace technologies such as APIs, containers, and microservices. These are the foundational blocks of the new modern architecture. Now, these are technical concepts, but in order to implement these, you have to combine that with organizational practices around Agile and DevOps. Otherwise, it just doesn't work as well. They also have to embrace the cloud. There's amazing infrastructure choices that our customers have. And depending on the use case, you have a multitude of choices to make sure that you're optimizing the cost-benefit ratio of the tremendous amount of choice that you have in the market today. And last, you want to embrace analytics and big data. Now, if you embrace these key technologies or foundational elements to change your organization and make it built to change, there are some amazing, amazing benefits that can be garnered. First of all, you can respond to markets faster. And let's just face it, things are changing very, very quickly these days. You know what? Every year we stand up on here and we say, things are changing very, very quickly, but it just seems to be accelerating. Second, you can empower customers with a better experience. This word empower has a very profound meaning. It's more than just the customer experience. When you empower the customer, it's really about enabling them to take action, to be able to transact with you. That goes beyond providing a customer experience. When you remove friction from that engagement, incredible things can happen. When you melt away the layers of inefficiency that are created through intermediaries or archaic processes, the customer engagement and that experience has a profound change. It becomes what it's always supposed to be. Think about how digital has changed our everyday life. From the way we listen to music, to the way we watch movies, or the way we travel with an airline. We nostalgically talk about how our playlist of the past was called the mixtape. We talk about how I had to drive to Blockbuster to go rent a movie, which is digital content. We now look back and go, why were we doing that? Because what we do now today is the way it's always supposed to be. iTunes, when they allowed people to be able to download music, customers said, oh, I no longer have to buy a CD, I can just buy the song that I want. Now it's streaming. Amazing advances are happening. My playlists are automatically created for me. I can now collaborate with other users and learn what they like. This is how music is supposed to be. Music is supposed to be shared. So as you can see, digital transformation, removing friction, opens up our imagination and other opportunities. The other thing that the Build to Change organization does, it leverages the ecosystem. Now, digital upstarts like Uber and Airbnb are amazing at this. They know that enabling a great empowerment and great customer experience isn't necessarily about building the experience as much as it is about assembling the experience. There are key capabilities that maybe are not core to your business, and those capabilities can be now leveraged through APIs and incorporated in what you do. And you'll hear about some of those things that customers are doing today. And lastly, none of this is actually possible without enabling your developers, harnessing their talents, their capabilities to deliver this. All of these elements are required to make sure that you are progressing around Build to Change. It doesn't happen overnight, but the dividends are so worth it. And for a lot of the industries, really there is no choice than to go to this direction. So we talked about that all-important last mile in terms of enabling the customer experience, really changing that customer engagement. That last mile is going to change drastically over the next number of years. Can you imagine a world where 100 million consumers will shop with augmented reality? The impact of this, we've just recently seen through the Pokemon phenomenon. Look at how crazy people went with augmented reality. Retailers, manufacturers, everybody's experimenting with this. Are you prepared for this type of a world? Can you imagine a world that by 2020, 30% of web browsing sessions will be done without a screen? Talk about removing friction. I don't even have to take out my phone out of my pocket. Oh my God. Imagine a world that by 2022, IoT will save consumers and businesses over $1 trillion a year in maintenance services and consumables. Imagine the cost that's coming out of that system. Imagine how much better it will make lives for consumers. And as you can see from the recent Gartner report here, the spend around innovation is only continuing to increase. So, so far we've talked about how the number of endpoints and the type of endpoints will continue to vary over time, and how things such as screenless, IoT, and augmented reality will supplement what we do today around mobile and apps. We also talked about the fact that you are going to embrace technologies. I mean, that's why you're here. You're going to embrace technologies like big data, containers, microservices. But you're kind of looking at this and going, something's missing. As you say in my hometown in Calgary, this is not your first rodeo. You know that you're a global enterprise, you're a global organization. You have regulations, you have customer requirements, uptime, all of those things to worry about. You need to make sure that not only are you agile with these technologies, but you're building in resilience into what you do. For example, that the number of apps that are going to be out there means more transactions, more data that you're going to be able to collect, more users and consumers that you'll have to support. How you implement these technologies and what you select will be critically important to make sure that you're able to scale as the number of APIs and apps grow. You ensure the performance that your users and customers require, not overlooking the security threats. As your surface area increases, you need to make sure that you're protected against this threat. You want to take advantage of flexibility that the various different infrastructure choices give you. And of course, you're a global enterprise. Therefore, you need to ensure that there's global support. So as you can see, the world's changing across three key dimensions here. First of all, how we build applications is drastically changing. And I think you heard about that in Mike Gregoire's keynote this morning. Moving from waterfall to agile to DevOps, that's changing. Second, where these applications reside is also fundamentally changing with the number of choices that you have around infrastructure that you can pick. And what you're building is fundamentally changing as well, which is monolithic apps moving from API-enabled apps to leveraging microservices. The beauty of us within API management being here at CA is that there's business units across CA that are focused on these other topics. So we get a chance to work with them to see how these other spaces are evolving. We get to work with great brands like Agile Central to make sure we understand how the practice around Agile is evolving. We get to work with our other brethren from DevOps to understand how DevOps is evolving. And obviously, from Agile operations, what are customers looking for from an operations perspective? We can truly stay aligned as one company to address the needs of customers across this multitude of dimensions. Now, Mike Gregoire talked this morning about the concept of change agents, individuals that are able to take technology and make a real difference in the organization. So what I would like to do here this morning, is to call upon one of these change agents. They're one of our award winners for what we call our VIP awards around vision, impact, and progress. Can I please ask Sid Matamanchi from GM to join us up on stage? Welcome, Sid. Thank you so much. So you know what? We talked about GM last year, but we just talked about it. But you're up here on stage. What I'd like to ask you here is that, we talked about digital disruption in industries. So what caused GM to change and embrace digital transformation?
Sure. Hi. Hello, everyone. So what we've recognized is just more than selling cars. We wanted to connect with the customers. And as you all know, technology is actually disrupting every industry out there, and the automobile industry should be no exception. So we've embraced that disruption. And what we've also recognized is, rather than just selling cars, we want to connect with people, right? So engaging with customers actually was a bigger win for us than selling cars. So technology disruptions, absorbing it, is actually our key attribute to this.
Awesome, that's great. Now, one of the things we always talk about is, the change agent. And it's not always easy. It's a struggle, and we know it's, we try and make it easy with technology, but maybe talk about sort of how you became the change agent with your team in the organization, and some of and just the journey that you went on.
Sure. So again, I think what you pointed out, I mean, agility is important, but you also have to prove that it is actually resilient as well, right? So, and I mean, in the automotive sector, that's pretty important when you actually putting out a car that actually it looks cool and is also resilient enough, right? So Brian who's sitting here, and me, we started the API journey about 5 years ago. So we started the platform wherein we actually started exposing our APIs to the general public. Developer.gm.com is a CA portal through which you can go register and look at our APIs. But at GM, they've actually let us play. They've let us expose our APIs so that people can come up and actually start building cool apps that one day may actually be in the head unit of your car. So GM's actually come a long way, and they've actually been very supportive of this digital transformation.
Awesome. So, let's talk about some of the business benefits. Obviously, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that cool technology is great, but you want to talk about the business benefits as well. That'd be great.
So, what this has done, this embrace of digital technology has done is it's actually helped us recognize that there are many other different streams that actually want to talk to us than just people. So there's the B2B customers. Fleet management companies want to come and talk to us. They want to know how their drivers are driving. They want to know what the state of their vehicles are, what the condition of their vehicles are. So it's been a welcome new revenue stream for us that wasn't available in the past. So it's been great.
That's awesome. So you have a session right after this, I know.
I do.
Where you'll go deeper into this story.
Yep.
And show the demo. We've got the Corvette there.
Yep.
It's awesome, and you're going to show it work. But do you want to give the audience just a brief glimpse of what a customer might be able to do?
So what I'm going to show you guys is actually the mobile app to which we talk to the vehicle. So let me fire this thing up.
Oh, there it is.
All right. So I'm just going to show you a quick glimpse of all the different screens that we have on the mobile app. And sure enough, during my presentation, we'll make some noise. Right? So again, so a key fob command is obviously all the commands that are on your key fob through which you can perform any command. One of the most utilized features, most of the Midwest, is actually your remote commands. You could start your car from your office desk, and by the time you get into the car is warm enough, right? Another feature that we've actually introduced is actually the offers page. So as you're driving through, we want to pop up any valuable offers that are more relevant to you, not just any offers, right? So we also want to showcase any navigations, directions to your vehicle, and what's the amount of data that you have left in your vehicle, and should you want to purchase more, we want to have that ability right from the mobile app itself. So much more cooler features of the mobile app. The other cool thing is the mobile app is actually free, and it's also, it comes connected with every GM vehicle you purchase. So every GM vehicle is now in a connected fashion.
Awesome. That's a great story. Thank you so much.
Right.
So I'd like to give you the award here. That's great. Thank you.
Actually, thanks. I'd like to pause. I'd like to call up on Brian and Rakesh from my team.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Recognize them as well.
It's a team effort. Thank you. Good stuff. Congratulations. Great story. Thanks so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I'm always amazed with what people can do with our stuff. It's incredible. So just to emphasize what Sid talked about around agility and resiliency, you can see the surveys that we've done with our customers. And with the surveys, 91% of the surveyed IT organizations found that security of our gateway what differentiated us from the competition. And 86% talked about how the scalability or how much scalability they got as a result of our solutions as well. Only CAPI management can provide you with the scale, security that you'll need for your global enterprise. So as APIs grow, as the use of APIs grow, the concept around the API lifecycle certainly continues to take on more prominence. As APIs, rather than just mere connections, become actual products, they need to be managed as a lifecycle. And certainly this is a fairly generic, if you will, lifecycle from being able to drive the strategy around your API, making sure that you have the business outcomes in mind, and embedding that into your API strategy, having an easy way to create, test, and manage these APIs. You want to be able to monitor these APIs to make sure that you're continually improving. And then there's a symbiotic relationship in this lifecycle that occurs between the API provider and the API consumer. Both of these personas or roles are incredibly important. For the API consumer, you want to make sure that you make it very easy for them to be able to discover these APIs. So as you can see, across CA, we have got a tremendous number of products within our business unit here within API management, but also across CA that allow our customers to manage across these various different life cycles. From you leveraging the API Academy to help you to design the APIs and your API strategy, great product around Live API Creator to be able to very quickly create APIs, with service virtualization to be able to test these APIs. In fact, Rogers is a great customer of ours who uses CA virtualization, service virtualization and API management to enable their development processes. You heard this morning from Mike Gregoire around CNN as a great story. They use Live API Creator, our API Gateway, as well as application experience analytics as well, in combination to be able to roll out that app. And obviously we have products like mobile app services and developer portal that make it very, very easy for developers to be able to consume these APIs. Now, we also know that the infrastructure choices you have are going to shift and they're going to change. And we want to make sure that the solution that we have addresses these needs that you're going to have in the future, whether that be on-premise, multi-cloud, or hybrid. It's important to note that in the recently released Gartner Magic Quadrant, CA API Management was named a leader in the full lifecycle API management. Now, they changed the name this year to really illustrate the point that lifecycle is important and taking more and more importance as we move forward. Now, Mark O'Neill from Gartner will be speaking later today on this topic. I encourage you to attend his session and learn more about sort of how they're thinking about the importance around the API lifecycle. So next, I'd like to bring up our second award winner and business change agent. So I'd like to call upon Vijay Algarasan to the stage from Asurion. Welcome, Vijay.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. So Asurion is probably one of those companies that we use almost every day, but we really don't even know it.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about what Asurion does?
Yeah, thank you everybody. So Asurion is a white label company and it's a technology production company. And we serve insurance and warranty and also tech support for mobile devices, tablets, and also the retail where you buy in Walmart or Costco. So mostly we do not directly deal with the customers. We actually partner with larger carriers and the retailers, and we serve almost like 290 million customers across the globe, and it's a global company. So we have business in APAC, Japan, and Europe, as well as in South America.
Very, very cool. So talk a little bit about sort of what drove Asurion's embracing of digital transformation.
Yeah, so since we work a lot with our partners, connecting to our partners is key to us, and so API-led integration is a competitive advantage for Asurion. So when we go to our clients and with a catalog of APIs for the products that we offer, it makes a huge difference, and as well as we believe API fuels innovation in-house, and as well as improve the agility and simplifies the application development. So So that's where we focus. That's one of the few things that we actually try to build the API management and APIs in Azure.
Good, awesome. So we talk about change agents, and as we talked with Sid earlier, right? It's a journey.
Yeah.
Talk about your journey, struggles that you had, and how you overcame those.
Yeah, we started in early 2015, and with the mostly the strategy of we wanted to improve innovation, efficiency, and things like that, and so we kind of make sure understand the business objective of Azure, then laid out our API strategy and story accordingly, and we spent good amount of time with our executives to make sure this is going to change the way we operate, focusing more on products than projects and things like that, and it was well received. Then that's a first step, and then as a second step, what we did is we actually tried to pick up the right technology platform for us to go ahead and achieve whatever our vision is. So we did extensive prototypes with the products in the market, and then we picked CA API management as it suits our need, and so we got to prove our point very quickly. We did not have time, as you said,
yeah.
right? The changes are very quick, and we can't wait for even 6 months to prove something out. So we identified key projects, like a couple of them, and we tried out a couple of APIs with those products and show the value. And then kind of, as a fourth step, we kind of brought the whole organization along, which means you had to train the business, you had to train the product marketing, and client services team, and development, operations, everybody to know APIs, to talk about APIs. And that was a huge task. That's why it took to realize the full benefit of it, it took almost a year and a half for us. And finally, we are continuously evangelizing the API within the company, and we are going to continuously improve upon, and we are on the right track right now. So I'm happy about it where we are.
Good. And just some of the business benefits again, what have you seen?
Yeah, so the business benefits is definitely, we are connecting well with partner than before, and it's a consistent way they are interacting with us, and that's a huge advantage. And secondly, internally the development experience got increased a lot, and then people are giving feedback about easy to build apps, because it's a consistent way to connect, discover, and the users really go to the portal and try to figure out what they wanted to do. And we have a good way now to monitor the performance of our capabilities.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much for being a customer. And
thank you.
Give you your award here.
Yep. I'm going to call Azure team members on the stage.
Absolutely.
To receive the award along with us. Yeah.
It's always a team effort.
It was a team effort, and they are working day in and day out with the APIs. So
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Good stuff. Welcome aboard, guys.
Yes.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Good stuff. Thank you, guys. See word for you there. Super. Thank you so much, guys.
Congratulations. Thank you for recognizing us in this way. So.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Great story, guys. Great story. So at CA World this year, we've got a number of sneak peeks that we're going to talk about. These are some great innovations that we have been working at here at CA. One of the key ones that we want to talk about is the API Developer Portal. This is a central management for data, devices, and backend applications. We created an enhanced user experience as well to enable developers to get started in minutes. We've made it future resilient. We talked about microservices. We're certainly leveraging those capabilities and technologies that are available, and we're making it very, very flexible for customers as well, for hybrid, SaaS, or on-premise. So I really encourage you to go take a look at these products. The other a sneak peek that we have is really on microservices. We have a new lightweight gateway in a Docker container that we'd like to be able to show you. This complements the already available capabilities we have around microservices, where the gateway orchestrates and secures microservices, as well as a live API creator that allows customers to be able to create microservices rapidly. So our third change agent that I would like to call up on stage here is Ramana Rangaraju from Beachbody to talk about their experience. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Beachbody, maybe we don't know the name, but we've probably stayed up at night and watched the commercials like P90X, right? So, oh, that's the way you do it. All right. So, you know what? You want to talk a little bit about sort of Beachbody and what drove you to embrace digital transformation?
Sure. Before that, I would like to say thank you to CA and also my vice president here, who's an engineering vice VP. So I would like to call him up on the stage to be with me here.
He didn't know that, but
It's surprise to him. So I thought I wanted to be him here.
sure. Good stuff. Nice to see you again, Mike.
This is Mike Lee. He's our engineering vice president. He's the main person who planted the seed in our organization to go digitalize and then embrace the current economy and then how we want to go forward.
Good.
So, and then to answer your question, yes, Beachbody is founded in 1998. It's like 17 years old company with one motto in mind, which is to deliver quality products to the customers and make them happy living life. So, we are the first company and the creators of the great products, fitness products like P90X, Insanity, 21 Day Fix, T25. So we created these products for the customers to gain healthy life. So we see that in the current world, obesity has increased a lot. So our main goal is to target that. We want to see that customers are happy and then they live life happily without any problems with their personal things. So that's one of the main agenda behind
Customer focused. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, again, it's a journey like everybody else. So, and everybody's journey is different. So talk about your journey and sort of how you know, what you went through in terms of embracing digital transformation.
Yeah, digitalization. So before that, I should say there's no denying that the current world is rapidly moving from analog to digital. And we see that nowadays, like a lot of people are using more and more of digital content. So then we thought like, okay, we should move forward with the digitalization. And what we did is like we wanted to create our products and then digitize it to the world, and by providing the digital content.
Digital content to your customers.
Sorry, digital content to customer. Mike, you want to add something there? Okay. So yeah. So what we did is like we created products to expose them online by digitizing them, and
how did you leverage microservices in the process here in terms of how are you embracing microservices as part of your process?
Yes. What we did is like in order to bridge the gap between the business and the technology and to deliver the products on time, we had to come up with a plan to create microservices. So something like at this point we had like around 400 to 500 services, which is very humongous. And what we thought is to convert some monolithic APIs to microservice APIs. We try to embrace the current technology and created and added the DevOps culture on top of it,
Awesome.
And create a lot of microservice APIs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, DevOps and microservices kind of go hand in hand there, so that's perfect. Some of the business benefits that you want to talk about of what you guys have been able to achieve?
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of business cases that and benefits that we are seeing. The important business cases like the gap between the business team and the technology was widened. So we were able to bridge that gap between them.
Awesome.
At the same time, developers are able to get into the technology right easily. So they are able to create the APIs and create the products much faster. And then we're able to reach the customers easily. So the customers are able to access our digital content much faster. So more importantly, choosing the vendor who can be with us from transforming a $1 billion company to $5 billion company was important. So CA was playing a vital role over there.
Happy to be on a journey with you. That's great. Thank you so much. I'd like to just give you a word here. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Great stuff. We'll just take a quick photo here. Super. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Thanks so much. next year, I want to see one of you up on stage with us. So we talked about digital transformation, and when we talk digital transformation, it's a pretty generic term, but vertical solutions really make digital transformation real. So today, or throughout the next couple of days, we've got vertical solutions that we're showcasing today on the show floor here as well. One of them is really around banking, and open banking initiatives are certainly taking hold. And nothing like PSD2 in Europe exemplifies this. If you look at healthcare is changing from not just managing the sick, but keeping people healthy. And this requires interoperability of data from providers, payers, and patients to enable them to take control of their own health. Media, exemplified by CNN in this morning's keynote, is a classic example of the disruption that's taking place in media. And auto, obviously, we just heard from Sid, and you'll hear again later today in terms of how auto is being disrupted and how they're embracing digital transformation. Now, we can't just talk about enabling experiences without actually doing it ourselves. So we have a new developer experience around our mobile app services product. We are actually going to where the developers are, providing it open source on GitHub, making sure that we have a very easy to use, easy to download trial image available. And you can learn more about that at developer.ca.com. This is a site built by developers for developers, and we're certainly very, very proud of it. In keeping with the theme around the developer experience, we're embracing this user-centered agile philosophy. We want to learn about learn and embrace how APIs, we want to embrace the user experience and enable developers to be able to use APIs in terms of how they want to be able to use them. Now, there's a couple of sessions and demo pods here around that, but I'd really encourage you to also take in the Design Center, where you can learn more about that. You can engage with our designers, learn about the developer experience we're creating, and we'd love to be able to get your feedback. So as you can see, a year has gone by, the world continues to change. We have phenomenal solutions. So happy with amazing things that our customers are doing here. And so we can't wait to continue this journey with you. Our mission continues to be removing barriers from your ideas to outcomes. And that's what we want to do. We have a set of passionate people that are working on this product and the product set day in and day out. We've got other folks that work with us, whether that be in sales, marketing, support. None of this happens on our own. So certainly I'd encourage you to take in the rest of CA World, but most importantly, I really want us to continue to do extraordinary things together. Thank you so much, and have a great CA World.